Hello, welcome back here into Caden's Weather Center. Today is August 17, 2025. Continuing to pay attention here to the tropics. So in the main focus in our video today, we're going to continue to pay attention to Hurricane ERIN and what it could bring to the east coast of the United States, bringing the possibility for some major surf and rip currents all throughout the east coast of the United States as Hurricane ERIN continues to make its way. As well as paying attention to another area of interest here marked by the National Hurricane Center, now up to a 40% chance of development here in the next 7 days. We're going to continue to pay attention to that as some models are picking up on a possible tropical system and possibly the chances of this storm hitting the United States here, as well as paying attention to a little bit of a severe weather threat continuing on in the north United States here, and we do have a couple tornado warnings as well as the recording of this video. So let's hop right into it. So right now, currently looking here at the current radar right now around the United States, we can see very scattered severe thunderstorm warnings kind of continuing on over here through the central part of the United States, going through the western and the Midwest as well. But we also do have a tornado warning that is also continuing on over here in southern Minnesota. So that's kind of continuing on as there's some big storms kind of continuing to ramp up over here over the next couple of hours into the overnight hours as well. But no major tornado risk is expected tonight, and that is a great thing there. But a couple tornado warnings could be issued as well, so make sure you're staying tuned and very paying attention to your local National Weather Service on any of those warnings. Right now, currently looking here at the Atlantic, we can obviously see our main focus that's been over the last couple of videos and a couple days. Hurricane ERIN has really started to impact parts of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, bringing some heavy amounts of rainfall there into the Puerto Rico region. But we're also paying attention to a new area of interest over here out in the Atlantic. This is going to make its way over here to the west. It's moving about 15 to 20 mile an hour right now westward, and we're going to continue to pay attention to that, especially if you live in the Lesser Antilles in Puerto Rico, as you guys are in that zone for formation. Now, at the 8 p.m. advisory, they just upped this from 30% to 40% chance here, as environmental conditions are going to be more favorable. And we'll talk about the possible tracks that we could be seeing here from this system pretty soon. But taking a look right now here at the Atlantic, we can clearly see our tropical wave is sitting right back here. You kind of can see maybe a little bit of a spin trying to start with that tropical wave, but then you can also see Hurricane ERIN, very powerful there, very big storm, is still a major hurricane there, expected to re-strengthen as it's went through an eye wall replacement cycle. But Hurricane ERIN has definitely gained in size, and that is for sure. Now, the eye isn't as noticeable as it was yesterday, especially as it was a category 5 yesterday, but you can definitely see the eye wall is very, very strong here, and that's where majority of those winds are going to be. So no impacts really to land, which is good news. But still, no matter what, we're seeing a lot of moisture continuing on down over here in the Dominican Republic, as well as Puerto Rico. We've been seeing some heavy rainfall, and I still remember last night looking at the radar, there were some flash flood warnings that were continuing on in northern Puerto Rico, and that's something that we want to continue to pay attention to. Some rain showers and thunderstorms still continue down there, could continue over here over the next couple of hours, but then really by tomorrow it should be kind of lightening up a little bit. But right now, as of the 8 p.m. advisory here, we know in a couple hours the 11 p.m. advisory will come out here. 125 mile an hour winds, 13 miles an hour moving west northwest there. You can clearly see the tropical storm force winds have really expanded itself, but as well as that, we have tropical storm warnings here for the eastern Bahamas, the southeastern Bahamas. Now, this storm is expected to just make its way up to the make a northern turn, then race off to the northeast here, but obviously depending on which side of the cone it goes on could really depend on who gets more impacts. You got Bermuda over here, and then you got the east coast of the United States. I would say majority of our problem could possibly be seeing a lot of that wave action. We've already seen counties in North Carolina trying to prepare as well for this storm, and we know that due to how much surf we could be expecting that, and what the wave heights could really reach up to from this storm. Now, taking a look at the tropical storm wind speed probabilities here, we can clearly see North Carolina and the United States is in that possibility, as well as Bermuda here, but no major chances. We're not in the major 80-90% chance there for tropical storm conditions, but we definitely know that it's going to make that turn, and depending on where it makes that turn could up these chances here for either North Carolina or even Bermuda. We could see those chances go up depending on which way this storm kind of goes. If there was anything to kind of happen with these tropical storm winds, Bermuda, you could get it around Wednesday night, and then North Carolina and the eastern coast here around Wednesday morning. But really, we're going to start seeing those waves really start to go Tuesday, Wednesday, and even into Thursday. Then they'll start calming back down after that, but still, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, definitely not the best time to go to these beaches on the east coast as well. Taking a look here at the, the spaghetti models. This is the 18Z models. I know the 00Z comes out here pretty soon. There's our area of interest, or not area of interest, but there's Hurricane Erin right there. Continues to move off to the west-northwest here, and then is expected to race off to the northeast, and we know that it's going to make that turn. Here in the next 72 hours, just, it's going to be east of the United States there. No impact. No exact landfall threat there, but we're just going to have that threat from, the outer side of the storm there, the waves, and maybe a little bit of gusty winds as well, depending on how close the storm gets. The more westward, once again, the more we could be seeing a little bit of maybe some gusty winds, some rainfall as well from this storm, but really not going to be impacting really anyone, which is some good news. Now, the intensity forecast that we could clearly see, the National Hurricane Center and majority of the models do bring it back up into a little bit more of a higher category 4. Maybe not a category 5 again, but after about 60 hours here, we're expecting the storm to kind of just drop down here in intensity, and then definitely as we head into maybe 156, 168 hours, definitely expected to be a tropical storm at that point here, and we'll probably see that here at the National Hurricane Center. We'll kind of hop on board with that because they're kind of just keeping out a hurricane as it's far in the northern Atlantic here in the next 5 days. Now, taking a look here at the GFS model, this is the 18Z model here. We can clearly see, I believe that the pressure still is once again is very wrong. Let's see, pressure. Yeah, so the pressure is 946 there on the National Hurricane Center. They're 955 on the GFS, so a little bit, could be saying it's weakening here this next 6 hours, but I believe this is right now. So the GFS a little bit off on the intensity forecast, but you can definitely see GFS brings it up to the north and is going to, kind of make that turn. 937 millibars could rapidly intensify once again, maybe a little bit. I wouldn't say getting necessarily to that major rapid intensification, but definitely the potential for something to really start to ramp up there. It's going to kind of go in between the United States and Bermuda here, and we're kind of going to see that, and then it will kind of race off to the northeast once again over here as it's going to be kind of pushed by a trough there. Now, our biggest thing is that we want to continue to pay attention to. We have a high pressure that's kind of over here according to the GFS. Now, we have this system right here. Now, the GFS has been bouncing up and down where it goes, where kind of Erin's been going, and where, in the Caribbean it's going. Now, the one thing I will say, if it takes the same track about Erin, the water temperatures are very cooler now because of Hurricane Erin. That will definitely limit more development than if it takes the Caribbean side, and we definitely can know that. The Caribbean, it'll go over the Dominican Republic. Not good chances it will form over the Dominican Republic, as we know the terrain there is going to be something that it does not like. But taking a look at this, as of this run, we can see 962 going up the east coast here of Florida. Now, I will say we have had a little bit of, kind of back and forth. I mean, we've had, sometimes GFS was saying over here in Texas, Louisiana, as well as the west coast here of Florida got a couple times, as well as the Florida Panhandle. So right now we're going to continue to pay attention on some of these trends, but as of right now, I wouldn't make any, worry of it yet because it's too far out at this time. Now, the Euro model saying a little bit of a different scenario, going to take more of an Erin track here, but definitely a lot weaker of a system. And just like what we were saying here, it's because, this storm probably will not form if it takes a Hurricane Erin track because of how much the environmental conditions are not going to be favorable for it as of Hurricane Erin caused that problem there, which is good news. But, if it takes more of the southern approach, could be some bad news for the United States, and that's something we could be paying attention to. Now, taking a look at the probabilities here from the Euro model, we can obviously see there's the chances right there heading into 5-6 days out. We could clearly see that the chances are continuing to kind of grow up in that region. Or go up in that region there. Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico need to be paying attention to that. That is for sure. This is going to make its way over here to the northwest, once again, as we watch that model run. Now, earlier this morning, we were seeing a little bit more of that probability over the state of Florida, but now we're kind of seeing a little bit more of a northern pull here, kind of where Hurricane Erin is going at this time, but maybe a little bit more east of Hurricane Erin and could possibly impact Bermuda. So once again, I would say, no matter what, I would definitely pay attention to this if you live in Bermuda as well. Now, taking a look here at kind of the spaghetti models, or the ensembles, these are the GFS ensembles here. We can clearly see tropical wave is expected to form, maybe not as strong as Hurricane Erin at this time, but you can see still a little bit of that spread out here on those Hurricane Erin ensembles as well. And I think that's kind of what we're trying to see here. Is it going to go more on the western side to bring more impacts here to the east coast? Or is it going to go on the eastern side where it brings more impacts to Bermuda, but less on the west or the east coast of the United States? So, big question still on the table. And even, with the GFS ensembles, we have the tropical wave that kind of continues, and we're just going to see these tropical waves starting to come off and move west. With the next storm, we're seeing the possibility here of a northern turn as well with the ensembles, but obviously it is so far out right now that we can't even really predict anything. Now, taking a look at the Euro ensembles, we can see maybe, really they're all just kind of mixed in of where Hurricane ERIN is going at this time. Hurricane ERIN, once again, a little bit more closer to the United States here with some of those ensemble tracks, with a very, very strong storm in that pink right there. Very dangerous, storm, could definitely be impacting parts of the east coast here of the United States. Now, I wouldn't say, once again, the direct impact, but definitely something that could really bring some pretty big wave, action to the east coast of the United States. That could raise a risk right there as well. But taking a look here at the satellite, once again, we could clearly see Hurricane ERIN's going to be making his northern turn here eventually soon. And then we also have this area right here that's going to be making its way over here to the west. So that's definitely going to be something that we need to pay attention to as we head into the next coming of days. So something to pay attention to as we continue on with that. Obviously, continuing to pay attention to a little bit of the severe weather threat tonight. But I hope you guys all have a, great rest of your night. Thank you so much for watching this tropical weather update, as well as the, just weather update in general. I know our main focus right now has been the tropics, but right now we're going to be continuing to pay attention to that, especially throughout all of hurricane season there. But once again, we're not going to, we're going to touch up also on the severe weather threat that is going on right now, in the northern part of the United States here, and kind of all over, with severe thunderstorm warnings stretching all over the United States here, from central to west coast, and, all of that. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow my X page down in the description. It'll be down in the description down below for more frequent updates here on the tropics, and as well any severe weather threat in your area. And make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy this weather content. That'd be much appreciated. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. Thank you, stay safe, and bye-bye.